Welcome to Daymaker. I got a good one for you today. I want you to know I'm excited about what I'm about to share with you. It's something that's really going to help you. When Charlotte and I used to do our marriage classes, one of the things that we used to teach people was to ask questions instead of make statements. That's a big leadership tip. And for leaders, great leaders and leaders on high levels know that asking great questions is the key to great communication. But here's what I want to give to you. The wisest people know that you ask a lot of questions and you ask a lot of them, and you also ask questions rather than make statements. So let me put it this way. So instead of saying, why do you always whatever? So so the thing is why do you always do something, right? So the big question instead of that is would instead of saying, why don't you ever listen to me? You ask the question, what can I do to help you listen to me better? That's an open-ended question. It's also taking part of the responsibility. Instead of making a statement to attack a person, or let's just say a person that you argue with or you're having a hard conversation with, maybe you have a coworker that attacks you over one little thing, you can say, the question says, instead of saying, why do you always attack somebody? You can always say, why, when you feel challenged, do you always seem to attack someone? A great question. Now you might get attacked for it, but here is the ism. The ism is always ask questions instead of making statements. It is a huge, huge thing. You could ask somebody, why is your performance so low? Or you could say, hey, tell me how that I can help you to improve your performance. These are ways to have hard conversations. So, anytime you're having a hard conversation, write 5 good questions with putting yourself in the equation, and it will help the hard conversation. The second one, connect before self-loading. Connect before you self-load. In other words, I'll tell you a story. Charlotte and I were having an important meeting with the mayor in a certain city. I was prepared, front loaded with great questions for the mayor, wanting to show him how smart that I was and how prepared that I was for something that we were doing within the city, of the city that we were trying to reach. Charlotte went with me to the conversation. We walk into the man's office, and I had a 15-minute window to impress him. Ha ha ha. So we sat down in the chair, and the first thing that Charlotte did was she said, hello, Mayor. How's your wife? And how's your kids? And Mayor, do you have any grandchildren? The minute she did that, I was internally livid, which set the mayor off on a journey. And the journey was the mayor dove in with both feet. What happened? Charlotte connected before we self-loaded. The mayor went on a 10-minute jaunt about his wife, about his kids, and about his grandkids, which set a meeting up where we had the favor of God in the room. What happened? We connected before we self-loaded. And what happens to many of us in conversations is that we self-load we self-inject ourselves into the conversation before we really connect to the people. That's key. It's key in the morning. It's beautiful to say, hello, good morning, I love you, before you say, hey, you forgot to do the laundry yesterday, right? Try it. It works. Remember the old saying, nobody cares what you know until they know that you care. And that's still true today. The last one, contribute before you criticize. Contribute before you criticize. It's never been easier to criticize in the world that we live in. Great people take the time to contribute before they criticize. Because here's why. Great people don't criticize because they're too busy contributing to how they feel about other people. You and I have a choice. We can either criticize everything that we see around us, or we can contribute and change it. As a pastor, I often hear and meet with people regarding something that they're leaving the church over because the church doesn't have it, so they go to another church so that their family can experience it rather than stay in that church and help make it happen. You know what? We can criticize, but what we need to do is contribute. Here's what Teddy Roosevelt said. It is not the critic who counts, not the man who points out how the strong man stumbles or where the doer of the deeds could have done them better. The credit belongs to the man who is actually in the arena, whose face is marred by the dust and sweat and blood, who strives valiantly, who errs, who comes short again and again, because there is no effort without error and shortcoming, but who does actually strive to do the deeds, who knows great enthusiasms, the great devotions, who spends himself in a worthy course, who at the best knows in the end the triumph of the high achievement, and who at the worst, if he fails, at least fails while doing greatly. So this his place shall never be with those cold and timid souls who neither know victory nor defeat. Listen, if you want to become a great person, this will help. If you want to be a daymaker person, become the person who contributes before they criticize. Become the person who connects before they self-load, and become the person who asks statements before who ask a lot of questions before they make a ton of negative statements. These are how conversations get better, and these are how we get better at conversations. Hey, listen, thanks for letting me be a part of your life. Thanks for making Daymaker. We've had our best week on Daymaker that we've had ever. This has been our greatest week. I think 3 days we were over 300 views. No, we're over like 360, 370 views. So we're gonna just keep growing and growing. I'm working on a Daymaker journal, working on Daymaker cheat sheets, working on a Daymaker blog, a podcast, as you know, which will be out tomorrow. I'm going to shoot that as soon as I get through here. So I'm looking forward to connecting you in a variety of ways and offering you resources that you need. If you'd like this resource on a cheat sheet, let me know. I'll be glad to get it to you. Thank you for being a part of the Daymaker family, and I'll see you tomorrow right here on Daymaker.